Iridium Oregon, and welcome back to Let's Play AIW Fleet Command. Now, I should state that I actually did a bunch of screw-ups on the previous episodes, mainly, changing the difficulty to 9, then back to 1. Let's just try something that I actually know somewhat works, but, might not really. So, back to our original plan, 7.3, same map seed as before, from the, last episode, but, it's pretty much, just getting right to it. Also, I'll just cut ahead to the first, 40 minutes so we're not lost on everything. Yeah, I just wanted to record this moment to state that, yes, I did indeed screw up many times. Basically, the first mistake was changing the difficulty around. This time, we are going to set to a difficulty where I have both won and lost. That difficulty is 7. Now, I set it to 7.3, which means it's going to be just slightly harder. But hopefully, it'll get to a point where I actually really need to show my strategic skills. Or how badly I, am at strategics. And also, I was trying to upload a video on the 22nd, however, let's just say that I was going to hour 1, minute 40, and I successfully made it there, but I forgot to press one button. The record button. Which basically means I was saying a bunch of things into the void of absolute nothingness, which meant that I just, retry this and so forth. And also while I was doing that, I realized that the difficulty was too low for the AI to even have any sort of strategic advantage on anything. So that's why I'm upping the difficulty again, so that way, we can actually learn some strategics. Alright, now let's actually get on to minute 40. And we're back. We actually had a little bit of a situation on minute 50. Or minute 40. Yeah, that... Well, let's just say the recording got a little bit effed up, so I just, had to start over from right here. So yeah, the current problem with shipbuilding for, modern technology is that there's currently no way to get artificial gravity in, any way. I mean, sure, we could just, rebuild the planet, but that would take, quite literally, another Earth. Yeah, I don't see any way in this current day and age with technology and so forth that we're getting to space anytime soon. I mean, sure, we already, landed on the moon, we, have the International Space Station, that... I know that some of you are thinking we already got to space, but technically what I'm saying is that we're not spacefaring yet. Yeah, because of that one gravity issue. Yeah, I mean, constant 0 Gs, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think about it more, and actually do the research... Well, it's just painful, because, well, your mind thinks that you're not using your legs anymore, so it just, decreases the bone mass in those. It, results in, like, larger kidney stones, more frequent kidney stones, all sorts of effects. Honestly, I'd prefer not to talk about them. But let's just say that within, I don't know, maybe a few years or something, you'd pretty much be dead from, no gravity. Because humans are not made to live in gravity. No, wait, they are not made to live in 0 G, whoops. Yeah, if my previous statement was true that, then we'd all be dead. Yeah, sorry, I just, misspoke a little bit. Just, trying to... There we go. Let's set it to 5. And put that right over there. Sorry, I scraped my mic a little bit. So yeah, basically, the only way I can actually see that we get complete gravity is with centrifugal force acting as artificial gravity. That is the only way I can conceive that as possible for artificial gravity. Despite the fact that it's really, you know, centrifugal force and so forth. Yeah, I've also heard that on the planet of Mars that we've actually found life. Not those, you know, green creatures or anything with those big eyes, but sadly we found just bacteria. If I'm correct, we have found bacteria on Mars. So basically, yes, there was life on Mars at one point, but currently there's nothing that we can see as of, you know, a multi-organ being, and so forth. Yeah, basically, what this means in layman's terms is that not only are we not getting to space anytime soon, we're also, you know, a little bit stuck on our ground until we can develop a technology to act as artificial gravity. Until then, I honestly do not see how we can possibly make it to space. Of course, we already have, you know, International Space Station and so forth, which those are succeeded projects of NASA. But in my opinion, I'd honestly say that we're not going to live in space anytime soon. Yeah, I also wish that there was, you know, a more efficient way to fill up, you know, empty space like this. Because it really disturbs me that I'm using up so much space in videos where it's just, you know, complete silence and tactical thinking. Where what I should really be doing is actually, you know, speaking about things. You know, like, why we're not in space right now, etc. Yeah, efficiency here is very well key to gameplay. Because if you're not efficient enough, then basically all sorts of crap is going to happen. I'll just start producing some, you know, better units, or at least, you know, more variety of units. Because when you produce just a few units, then you're prone to attacks from, you know, all those waves that compose that one unit that you can't damage, but they just practically one-shot your ships. Sorry, I bumped my microphone again. Yeah, and also another thing that people don't think about in space is radiation. Yes, there is indeed radiation in space. That is a problem. And you can't just, you know, line your ship with lead, because eventually the lead will become radiated, and therefore you get radioactive lead, which is, I believe, one of the most difficult substances to deal with, or at least one of them. Yeah, but I've heard that recent technological and scientific advancements have discovered that just by surrounding your ship with tanks of water, that would protect you from the radiation of space, and therefore, you know, it'd protect you as well, and the water would also be safe to drink, so you get a twofer. Yeah, you don't need any sort of expensive safety systems. All you need is just a bunch of tanks lining your ships. Yeah, but I also, you know, thought about it a little bit, and I've said that, in my opinion, we're definitely not alone out here. It's highly unlikely that we're ever alone. I mean, sure, some people would think that this is, you know, like a little bit of a randomly generated universe or whatever, but there's gotta be at least some way that we know that there's life. There's clearly gotta be life out there. I just know it. Despite having access to just my eyes, I know there's life out there somewhere, just not here. Yeah, like, not just here. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, NASA is doing themselves a favor by covering up, you know, exogalactic evidence or whatever. I know that NASA might, keyword might, have exogalactic evidence, but I'm a little bit skeptical on that as well. Yeah, there are just so many questions about space, such as, you know, like, how will we get there? What will we do? What will we see? What will we find? Basically, there's just so much about space that has yet to be answered. Now, I'm not a scientist or anything, so I can't, you know, speak up anything to 100% accuracy, but I've done a little bit of research. And I know that, sure, yeah, there was a possibility that life could have existed on the moon, but no, wait, actually, screw that. There is no possibility that life existed on the moon at one point, because, yeah, for a planet to actually have the basis of life, which is water and air, the reason why I'm saying air is, I'll get to that a little bit later, but yeah, in order for life to exist, there has to be a constantly circulating water supply from a tectonically live planet. And Mars, right now, it's tectonically dead. You know, its core is frozen solid, or at least solidified, not frozen. Whoops. Yeah, which means that unlike our core, which is, you know, molten iron and solid neodymium and iron and so forth, basically Mars's core does not have any sort of, you know, liquid core or whatever. Yeah, so it has, you know, no magnetic field, and whatever atmosphere it does have, it just gets blown away. Yeah, the moon, well, there's no water, because there's no atmosphere, and actually there is water in the form of ice, but the atmosphere, it is actually really important to a planet's own life support system, because basically to get the water out of the, you know, low spots on the planet, it needs to somehow evaporate into a cloud hinting on atmosphere, and move over somewhere else, particularly like a mountain or high point, and then at that point it has to release its contents and flow back down to the low spot and start the cycle all over again. Now, because the moon is made of regolith, which has incredibly sharp edges, hints at the fact that there was no water on there for quite some time. I mean, sure, ice comets have you know, done their part and actually, you know, deposit small amounts of ice there. But for now, I don't see any definitive evidence that the moon has any sort of signs of life. As well as the fact that because it's in a vacuum, the American flags that we actually planted there, they're no longer colored red, white, and blue. They're actually bleached solid white. Yeah, basically are surrendered to deletion right there. Well, I think that's about it for now. I went, a little bit over, but that's about it. Thanks for watching.